back in Eretz Israel, broadcasting out to you, wherever you're listening. Everyone's doing well, and once again, thanks to Rabbi Josh for getting this set up, sending things out to you guys. We look forward to hearing your feedback. I want to give express a thought or two about this time period we're in. We're a few days away from Tisha B'av. It's not an easy time for anyone. Time of Aveilus, time of mourning for Klal Yisrael. And I wanted to share a thought that I had about a famous statement that pretty much we've all heard. We know the story that Klal Yisrael was out in the Midbar, and we were concerned about going to Eretz Israel. We sent spies, and the report came back, there's no way to come to Eretz Israel. And the people stayed up that night, and they wept. They wept. They were very concerned. They're going to get wiped out. Who knows what's going to be? So, Hashem says, what are you crying for? I told you things were going to be fine. So Hashem said, instead of, he said, you had a bechir shel chinam, you cried for nothing, and instead you're going to have a bechir l'doros. You're going to cry for all generations. Now, that seems to be a very difficult concept to understand. Why was it necessary for Hashem to, so to speak, punish us that we should cry for all those generations? Especially, we know there's been a lot of tears shed for Klal Yisrael. Those guys that have come to Poland, we saw there's a lot of tears over there. Famous story of the Kotzker Rebbe, that was once, after he passed away, he used to communicate with one of the other Rebbes, and one time he just didn't appear for a while. So when the Rebbe went and to kind of see where he was in Shemayim, so to speak, and he went to him and he saw him by a huge body of water, and he asked him, Rebbe, where have you been? And what is this? And why aren't you moving? And the Rebbe didn't turn around. He says, this is a river of the tears of all of the Jews of all time. And he says, I'm not moving until it dries up. Every last tear dries up. There's been a lot of tears, Loweling. So what kind of punishment is this? It seems like a very cruel sort of, you cried for nothing, you're gonna cry for real. So I think there's an important idea over here. There's a Gemara says in Shabbos, it says, one of the 6 questions we're going to ask us is, be peacefully assured. A number of questions we're going to answer. The Gemara says that one of the questions we're going to answer is, be peacefully assured. Did you look forward? Did you anticipate? Did you hope for the fact that Hashem would save Klal Yisrael and Mamish make a tremendous nisim and bring the world to connect it to Him and end the tsaros? We should Mamish see that soon. So, what if you don't? What if you want Mashiach, but you're not peacefully assured? You don't look forward to it. So it seems, from the other Gemara, the other things in the Gemara, did you set times for Torah? Did you try to have children? Did you deal fairly in business? It seems this is a requirement in the emotional world of a Yid. A Jew has to feel things shouldn't be the way they are. He shouldn't make peace. Apparently that's what Gemara is telling us. I don't know how else to say to Gemara. Gemara says, don't make peace with what's happening out there. If you make peace, that's a terrible, terrible situation. So your emotional world, our emotional world, all of us, we have to be connected to the right thing. So if we think about what bothers us during the day, what gets on our nerves, what really worries us, what are the things that honestly we shed tears privately about? And sometimes we can't shed tears. And as the Kotzker used to say, the hardest tears are the tears that you can't cry. What bothers us? What gets us? What really makes us upset? Because tears are the deepest expression of what's bothering us in our soul. So, unfortunately, sometimes people cry about silly things. I don't want to take too much time on this, but I remember when I was teaching Rebbe, I was teaching a certain modern Orthodox yeshiva, and it was a time, it goes back about 20 years, it was a time there was a ball player, you guys probably know, Magic Johnson. At that time, Magic Johnson got a certain disease. And that disease was carried because he wasn't necessarily acting the most sneeze way possible. That's what the assumption was. Could have been other factors, and I'm telling you, the guys over there were it was like Korban by a Shlishi, Chas v'Shalom. It was so beside themselves. So we had to talk and we discussed it, whatever. I hope that the discussion came out well. But what were the tears about? The tears were about Magic Johnson. Now, I'm sure he's a great guy, don't get me wrong. But what's really bothering us? So Hashem says, the emotional world of the Yid, if it's not in tune, if you're not plugged into what's right, something's wrong. Something's got to be corrected. It's an illness, which is not okay for a Yid. If we're not concerned about for each other, and we're not concerned for the world, and we're not concerned about Hashem's covet, something's wrong. Again, we're in a generation where it's good, it's all fine, we have to say nice things about ourselves, and and whatever you do is okay. And again, we're hurting. We got to build ourselves up. We got to be nice to each other. We got to be supportive. On the other hand, there's a certain time where you say, what really bothers me? Is this something of consequence? So let's go back. It said over here that we cried in the midbar. We cried in the midbar. We cried because we didn't trust that Hashem would take care of us. Hashem says that's what really is bothering you? That's what's down deep? Is that you don't really trust me? That you're concerned about your children getting wiped out, that I would take you to the midbar and do that to you? And we have all of our concerns, gentlemen. So he says, Hashem says, we got to clean out the inside. You need a mikveh. You need a mikveh for the inside. The mikveh is going to be other tears. You're going to have to bring in new water. The new water is going to have to be new tears to clean yourself up, to clear yourself up. You should be concerned about what's really important, what really makes a difference. That's a bechiyah l'daris. That was a crime that we used to do, to show that we should be concerned and care about what's really important. That's what we have to think about during these times. What bothers us? What hurts us? And it should hurt us that the world is in the situation that it's in. We shouldn't make peace with it. The Sfanim Rebbe says time and again. We shouldn't make peace with it. We shouldn't make peace with our situations in terms of our own spiritual growth. We shouldn't make peace with the difficulties that the world's going through. It's not okay. And the fact that Kavod Shemayim is so degraded, the honor of Hashem is so low, it should bother us. It should take the kishkas out of us. That's our concern, and that's what we should, I think, be focusing on during these 9 days. The Gemara says, "Sinus fina." That was why the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. It should bother us that we don't care for you. It should bother us when we go to shul or on the bus, or we're going and getting a slice of pizza. This guy we don't like. This guy bothers us. It should hurt us. We should cry about it. Hashem, make us think well of people. Let us think well of Hidden. Let us be concerned for your honor. Hashem should help us. We should be able to clear up the things that are not important. That we shouldn't be preoccupied, and we shouldn't be hurting and be concerned about the things that are really not so important. And we should not have to cry about the things that are really important. We shouldn't have to cry anymore about them. We should be able to rejoice and be happy with the things that are really the important things. We should be happy and get to rejoice at the building of the Beis Hamikdash with Hashem this very Tisha B'av.